If you're looking for the sweet spot where the high desert meets the mountain's edge, you'll find it just north of Tucson. While the city has its charms, the real magic happens once you hit the trail out here. This is an immersion into a landscape that changes by the mile. Down low, you're weaving your way through forests of towering saguaros and dodging jumping chollas in some of the sandy washes, but up high, the air thins, the temperature drops, and the desert scrub transforms into a lush oak woodlands and juniper groves. In this video, I'll show you 4 must-do trails just north of Tucson: Charouleau Gap, Tucson Wash, Rice Peak, and Box Canyon. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. Also, please subscribe to my channel and like it if you enjoy this content. My name is Pat Lowe, and this is Pilo's Adventures. The first trail on this list is Charouleau Gap, a 19-mile true test of equipment, skill, and ego. Starting in Catalina, about 20 miles north of Tucson, there's a nice staging area where there's plenty of room to park your trailer and get ready for this challenging run. Off in the distance here, you can see the Catalina Mountains, and down below is part of the trail. I'll put the GPS location of the staging area in the description. As you see here, the first few miles are a deceptive mix of sandy washes and rolling hills, but the Santa Catalina Mountains quickly stop playing nice. As you climb towards the gap, the trail turns into vertical staircases of loose shale and sun-bleached boulders. The views are world-class, sweeping vistas of Oro Valley to the west, but you can't look at them too much because you're too busy trying to navigate the rocks and ledges to avoid getting stuck or damaging your rig. Further on, you reach some of the legendary obstacles such as the Step, or as some call it, the Wall, and Kissing Rock. On this trip, I did not make it all the way to those obstacles as we were alone and without a winch. This trail is one you should never really do by yourself. You should always have experienced riders with you. A friend of mine just went through this and needed to be winched out a few times. For the hardcore, the Step is the main event. For everyone else, the easy bypass is a relief, though easy is a relative term out here. Then there's Kissing Rock. You hold your breath as your B-pillar skirts inches away from the massive overhanging boulder. An inch too far to the right and you will be kissing that rock. Passing through the gap at over 5,000 feet, the terrain shifts. The desert scrub gives way to oaks and junipers as you drop into the Cañada del Oro wash. If it's rained recently, this is where the fun and the mud begins. You'll be crossing the water multiple times and navigating deep ruts. By the time you roll into the town of Oracle about 6 hours later, you will be tired and mentally drained. You might also notice your rig has a new shade of Arizona tan. Again, I didn't make it all the way up to the top or all the way to Oracle on this particular trip. So the video you're seeing is just some of the obstacles that I did. This particular one is a little tricky. Coming down was easier than going up though. This trail is a must-do, but it's rated very difficult, so make sure you're up to the task. Weather can also play a major factor on the run and can change things dramatically, so make sure you check the trail conditions before you head out. This is Charouleau Gap. As you drop into the sandy floor of the Tucson Wash, the first major landmark rises like a monument to Arizona's copper history: the Mammoth Railroad Trestle. This massive wooden and steel structure isn't just a photo op, it's a living piece of the San Manuel, Arizona Railroad history. Built to serve the San Manuel copper mine, this line was the lifeblood of the valley for decades, hauling ore and sulfuric acid between the mine and the Hayden smelter. So now let's move from history to high performance. This is the technical sand section of the trail. At this point in the trail, you can kind of let loose if you wish. This trail then transforms into a box-type canyon with shrubs and rock walls all around. This part's pretty cool. I would like to say it's my favorite part of the trail, but the highlight is yet to come. This is, though, a fun and easy part that can give you some nice shade if you're out in the heat of the Arizona summer. As you leave the canyon, you come to this section where it's nice to have some GPS coordinates telling you where to go. You do have several options, but once you get on track, you will see some of the most amazing saguaros around, big and healthy and by the thousands. Definitely worth the price of admission. Well, I guess the price of admission is free, so yeah, it's definitely worth it. About midway through the loop, the trail leaves the soft and sand and begins its aggressive ascent towards the high desert overlook. This is a steep, rutted out climb that gains several hundred feet in just a short distance. You don't have to take this part of the trail, but I would highly recommend it, as you'll see in a second. It's a bit technical, but most 4x4 high clearance vehicles could make it. As you will soon see, there is not a lot of room at the top, so plan accordingly. Probably 4 or 5 rigs can fit up there, but not much more. From the summit, the view is a 360-degree lesson in Arizona geography. Just wow. This is the perfect spot to turn off everything and just look. As you see here, I'm climbing down off of the overlook. I really didn't want to leave because it was just so beautiful up there. So I sat up there for a while, I pulled a chair out and had some lunch. It was pretty cool up there. So the final act of this ride is the descent through Tar Wash. This is arguably the most fun section of the trail. It's a natural slalom course, tight, twisty, and banked. The narrow canyon walls amplify the sound of your exhaust, creating a mechanical symphony as you navigate the rocky stair steps. This here is probably the most difficult obstacle on this trail, and it's not really that hard. So this is Tucson Wash. It surprised me how much fun it was. You know what? It was close to home, it was pretty easy to do, and the trail had all kinds of fun options. I hope you enjoy this one. Next on the list is Rice Peak. I can't say the ride up here to the peak was that enjoyable, but the payoff, it was awesome. Not a lot of parking up here, so keep that in mind. Tucked away under a canopy of shady Arizona sycamores, Pepper Sauce Campground is a nice starting point. From here, you can also take the back way to Mount Lemon. That's a good trail, kind of bumpy and long, but worth it. Enjoy the peace while it lasts though, because the journey ahead is going to be anything but smooth. Before you head up to the peak, down here near the campground lies the notorious Pepper Sauce Cave. This isn't a brightly lit tourist cavern paved with walkways and handrails. If you dare to crawl in, you are entering a wild, dusty, and thrilling subterranean playground. As you see here, my buddy was crawling out of one of those caverns. So let's talk about the trail up to the peak. Calling it a rocky, bumpy mess? Well, that's pretty accurate. In the beginning though, it's not too bad. The trail is wide and there is not too many rocks. As you continue, the path becomes a chaotic scramble of loose gravel, jagged rocks, and deep ruts that seem to specifically design to test your rig and yourself. As you push upward, you'll weave through the high desert scrub, dodging prickly pears and tough manzanita bushes, just waiting to catch you in an unwary sleeve sticking out the side of your door. Yeah, that happened to me. It is a rugged, relentless climb that makes you earn every single foot of elevation. You see here how rocky it is. Lots of loose rocks, narrow roads, and steep climbs. This is the final quarter mile to the top. It is brutal, well, in sort of a fun way. When you finally conquer that final rocky stretch and stand on top, every single bump and bruise is instantly forgiven. At 7,500 feet, this is Rice Peak. From wiggling through the cool, mysterious depths of Pepper Sauce Cave to scaling the sunny, skyscraping heights of Rice Peak, this rugged trail delivers a spectacular day of extremes. So last on our list of the 4, we find ourselves in Florence, Arizona, specifically Box Canyon, which is a bit further north of Tucson. I've been here twice now, and each time I had such a great time. What you're seeing now is my first trip. I went back though after some major storms that changed this trail dramatically. So check out my before and after video on this trail. It's a great video that really shows how this trail has changed forever. A must-see, of course. This trail has so much to offer. Box Canyon itself is a fun ride, and it's not too difficult. There is so much to see though, such as an old stagecoach stop, petroglyphs, a steer, and who knows what else you're going to run across. Maybe a small chipmunk. But as you can see, the views down here, they're pretty darn cool. I really enjoyed just taking it slow through this canyon. So as we were approaching here, I see all these little cows, but then we came up to the big boy. That is one big cow. I was a little afraid being that close, I gotta be honest. And yep, here's a little chipmunk scurrying around where the petroglyphs are. So there's an old stagecoach stop that we explored. But shortly after that old stagecoach stop, there's an area where we took a hard left to go up a hill. It was not the main trail, and it was quite a hill. After we got to the top and I did some research, I found out it was called like Whoop-de-Doo Roller Coaster Trail. Yeah, that sounds about right. It was steep. So once we reached the top, wow. We, of course, stopped here for lunch and just stayed here for a while. So as you can see off in the distance, there's so many trails to explore in this area. You can come back over and over again and it just will not disappoint. So there you have it, 4 great trails of various difficulty just north of Tucson: Charouleau Gap, Tucson Wash, Rice Peak, and Box Canyon. I very much liked all of them for various reasons. So if you subscribe to my channel, you will see many more trails that I have taken in this area and throughout Arizona. I think they will be entertaining and informative for those of you looking for your next adventure. For those of you who can't make it out there for whatever reason, I will keep providing you videos like this for you to enjoy from wherever you are. I also have videos of fishing trips and kayaking trips. I have lots of cool things on there, so check it out. I'd like to thank you very much for watching and stay tuned for more adventures. And as always, my name is Pat Lowe, and this is Pilo's Adventures.